Hi everybody, Eric Dorward here at the Spartan Rocketry Club, continuing our build of the Estes SpaceShipOne. So, in the intervening time since the last video, I did cut out the remaining pieces of balsa from the other sheet. These were trickier for a variety of reasons. The little notches on the inside of these go generally pretty well. One of them came out just fine. I just cut where the little burrs were. The other one, they seem to be stuck in the edges too, so I had to cut there as well. I'm not entirely sure why there was a difference, but there was. The other thing was one of these, I think this one, well maybe not, it's kind of hard to tell. It came out, the rounded part at the end came out very easily. The other one did not. It was, well, it wasn't really stuck, but I did have to trim a bit more, and not entirely sure why that would be the case. I believe these things are identical. Well, they're not, because look, this is not in the right place, but where the burrs are don't match up. So I don't know why they're different like that. But one of these seems to have a burr right in the rounded part. This is a real pain to get out, right, if it's not cut with the laser, because the blade is flat and this is round. So that's irritating. Anyway. There is more work to do with these. Normally, with these, for instance, I'm going to sand these to get the burrs off of them and to make sure they're just, uniform. So you put them together like so, make sure they're flush, and then take a few passes. Since these are laser cut, the cut is dark because it's burned. Once you get down to the lighter wood, you're in pretty good shape. Plus the burr ought to be gone. Just a little bit more. So that's great. Repeating the process. I prefer to just use a piece of sandpaper here instead of using the block for this. It seems to be easier. Right here, I normally don't bother to sand the root if there's a burr in it. Well, no, that's not true. I usually do if it's connecting, but this looks like it's supposed to piece through something. I don't entirely know. I'm going to go light here just to get rid of the burr. And I'm not going to worry about this part and this part. That's fine. So those are done. The other ones I will do off camera. These are going to be very tricky. Well, not tricky, but I need to be careful because the little bit here at the end is very small and probably pretty weak. Same deal with this. This curved part I'm going to be extra careful with. This actually, we'll get back to this in a moment, but this, on the other hand, well, this is rounded, so I can't just sand it down, plus I couldn't get in there anyway, because it's the way it's curved. So I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper, and I'm just going to gently sand over top of this. I'm mostly trying to get those burrs off more than anything else. It's going to be pretty hard to keep them completely flush. I'm not really trying to get them uniform, just that they should be already, but I just want those burrs gone. It needs a little bit more. This is more time consuming, obviously, but it needs to be done. Alright, so that's reasonably good. I'm going to repeat the process on the back side. These other ones, but you don't need to worry about that. I'll do it off camera. So, moving on then. It is time to start constructing everything. I think we're going to start with, we'll start with doing, well, we'll put an engine mount in. It seems like a decent place to start. So I need that classic push thing. It's a spacer. And I need, that's an interesting little stain. I need one of these. I should have a line on this according to the instructions. I'm not going to really worry about that, not right now anyway. It's only really important for alignment of, well, something that's a little bit down the road. Wow, it really wants to roll away. Oh, because it's a bit warped. That's interesting. Well, having, that could fix it temporarily, but we will get that sorted out here shortly. Anyway, first step, I need my ruler, and I need a pencil, and I need to measure off a few places to mark. This is actually a surprising number in this. I need to measure off 1 inch, so that's there. I need to measure off 1 5/8, that's there. I need to measure off 2 1/4, that's there. And I need to measure off 2 5/8, which is, boy, right there. Not much beyond that. It's pretty much, well, it's 2 2/3 inches long, so there's only 1/8 of an inch beyond that. So those are all my marks. That's great. I need to then cut in at the third one that I made. So I'm just going to put the blade here and push. Actually, apparently I'm not. I'm going to cut a little bit. Just didn't want to. There we go. Didn't want to cut quite right the first time. All right. Next thing I need to do is I need to take my spacer here and I need to measure that as well. I'm going to be measuring off 1/2 inch this time. That's right there. All right. So marks made, ready to go. First things first, apparently I'm going to put the engine block inside of here. So we got to fish that out. We'll actually need those in the short near-term future. Here is the engine block, and I'll need the hook too, so I might as well grab that. There we go. Alright, so I need to get some glue, and hopefully my glue bottle is, my fix actually unclogged it. I think it did, but we'll find out. Yeah, there we go. So I need to put glue in approximately 2 inches. This is a little shorter than usual, but you know, if you want to measure off so you know where, you could make a mark. You know, I want about this much. Okay. So I'm going to take that and make sure that I am going from this end, right? And I'm just painting the glue basically on the inside of the tube. I could probably stand a little bit more glue than that. It's not bad though. Yeah, it should be alright. Alright. The engine block goes in, and then I'm going to push until I get to the line. Actually a little bit too far. That happens from time to time. It kind of slid out of my finger. So I'm going to try again a little bit more slowly this time. There we go, because we do want precision here. Make sure you take this out. Please don't leave this in. If you leave it in, you can't fly the rocket because the motor does not fit inside of this. The motor is the same size as this. This is garbage after that. So make sure that gets done. Alright, now hopefully the engine hook will go into the slot we made. Yeah, there we go. And that looks, you know, that looks fine. So honestly, like I don't really see what point drawing the line on this would have done, because I'm basically supposed to put the engine hook right over top of the line anyway. I don't really think that makes the slightest bit of difference. So fun. Alright, so that's going to go like this. I must have missed it when I was rooting through this bag. There should be another ring. Oh, yep, there it is. It's clear. Well, almost clear. It's translucent, let's say. So that was actually kind of hard to see. Alright, so on this goes, and this is going to go down to the 1 inch mark. That would be here. And then I'm going to glue it in place. So I'm going to put the glue in front or behind, I guess, depending on your perspective, like here, so that when I push the ring through, it slides through the glue. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Although Yeah, there we go. Make sure the hook is on straight. And I'm going to clean this seam up a little bit. Probably doesn't matter too much, so this is not going to be an external part, one would imagine. Best to keep the glue mess down to a minimum. Alright, so that's, well, it's not done, but we're making good progress. The next thing that I need to do is we're going to finish constructing this assembly, and that is going to require this. I don't need the whole thing. All I need are the kind of ovally rings, and I do need both of them. They are, well, they're subtly different here. Actually, yeah, just want to make sure. They look not identical. They're not identical. I'll have to make sure that I get the right ones here. So normally I just punch these out, but there's a lot going on in this card. And you know, if I kind of tear the cardstock, but the only thing I need in the cardstock is a centering ring, then, you know, who cares? But it seems like there are either a lot of pieces that I need, or these are guides, or I don't know, I haven't gotten that far in the instructions yet. So I'm going to actually cut instead of push. There, that's one. The other one, and this one has a little bit more going on as well. It's got 3 marks on the interior circle and a whole bunch on the exterior. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave, like I said, I'm not entirely sure what the rest of this stuff is for just quite yet, but actually I think it looks like this is going to be used as a jig for alignment. So we'll definitely need that, but not at this particular moment. Alright, so the next job is to get these 2 rings on, and there's 2 of them, right? This one has a notch in it, so this one is going to be the one that goes over top of the engine hook. This is a pretty snug fit. You might consider sanding this if necessary, because you don't want to deform anything too significantly. Oops. And you know, if I'm pushing this, it will get on, but I don't want to warp anything. And I did end up deforming the tube there a little bit, which isn't great. But it's on, so that's good. And it's going to go down to the 1 5/8 mark that I made. I'm just going to kind of slide it, and I have it lined up pretty well. Oh, yep, that's better. More or less with the engine hook at the moment. And this is a little snug, so I'm going to have to be careful with that. The other one is going to go, it looks like, well, right here at the last line we made. So that one's going to have to go on. It does have a little alignment mark, so that is probably why we're supposed to have the line on here, but I'm just going to make sure that it's aligned with the engine hook, and that should be plenty. I'm going to actually shift it past, and then try to get my alignment just quite right. There we go. And then let's put the glue on. This is probably going to be it for this particular video. I'm going to put, let's move this a little bit. So I'm going to put glue right at the 1 5/8 line. Okay. Let's shift this down. Again, sliding through the glue, we'll spread the glue out. Move this a little bit. Alright. I do want this to be, I want the engine hook centered, which is really easy to tell because there's the little gap in there, so that's great. And I do want it perpendicular to the tube. It's not quite at the moment. It's not exactly at a right angle. That looks better. That'll do. Alright, now for the other one, I'm going to shift it forward a little bit. Again, I'm going to end up making sure that notch is in line with the engine hook, and I'm going to put some glue back here. I probably didn't quite line it up where I should have, but that's okay. I'm going to end up doing fillets front and back of these anyway, so if there's a little too much glue behind, it shouldn't be a problem. And now I'm just going to slide this down to the line and then twist it a little bit. Oh, that was too much. Twist it so that it is dead center on that engine hook. Oop, too much. Okay. That looks good. Alright, last little bit then. I did end up kind of inadvertently making a fillet here, so I'm just going to smooth that out. But I am going to take the time to put glue above and below both of these centering rings so that I can have a fillet to strengthen this up. Since this has to contain the thrust of the engine, and that's not nothing. There we go. I can see that I don't have this upper one. It is, it's not warped exactly, but the bottom is, yeah, it was slanted like this, so do check that as well. So it needs to be straight this way, it needs to be straight this way. It basically needs to be straight in every direction. So do check that as you are applying your fillets. Got one more place to put the glue. That's right in here. There we go. And as soon as this is done, this needs to rest so that the glue is completely set. I need it to dry completely before I do anything more significant with it. I can, if I want, this might not be the world's worst idea, just do a quick test fit. Remember this from the first video? This is our part of our build. It should fit in like so. Yeah, that looks fine. Right, I'm going to take it back out. I did have to rotate it in order to get it in here, which is kind of a neat trick. So that looks fine, that should work. I'm going to let that dry. That pretty much takes care of, well, this part of the video anyway. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next segment.